On today's video, we got some crazy images from what I would score a Gekko leak, I guess. Can you see what I'm seeing? Is that a configuration of a commander's skills? Is that a thing? Listen, we got a lot to talk about. A few images from a conference where some sneak peeks of what's coming up to Rise of Kingdoms was revealed. We're going to talk about the source of these images, what you need to know about leaks in general, and of course, we're going to speculate quite a bit in this video, but there are plenty of images to show you a very cool new event coming into Rise of Kingdoms. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure you're slapping a like on this video. Can we hit 300 likes? Sit back, enjoy the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming, and my goodness, we haven't had a good set of juicy leaks in a while. But before I start saying hashtag Gekko leaks, this is not necessarily an exclusive. From my understanding, this was sent to me by an individual from the community, and apparently this either came from another video or from another, I saw it in another video as well, but then I saw it somewhere else. I don't know, but I can tell you guys this. This image is real and it's been confirmed as something coming into Rise of Kingdoms. Before we go into the depth of what this is, I want to remind you that if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. But here's the thing. You have to understand one very important thing about leaking information. When I leak information, I don't just post a video like that. I usually run the data and information I have by Lilith Gaming, and I'm like, listen, I want to put this video out. Sometimes they tell me, listen, this information is too sensitive for you to leak it. And sometimes they say, okay, well, we appreciate you coming to us, and yes, you can go ahead and release this, which is, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but every time I leaked something, within 15 to 20 minutes after Lilith kind of announced it, a lot of people think that I leak it just before they announce it, but more often than not, I leak it and then they confirm the leak, just so you know. So when I got these images, I went to Lilith and I was like, listen, I got these images. What is this? Where is it coming from? And can I post it? And here is what I got. These images came from some sort of conference where Rise of Kingdoms was demonstrated and a sneak peek of things coming into Rise of Kingdoms were shown. Now, the person who sent it to me didn't speculate this, but someone else who used these images somewhere else said that this is a developers meeting and there's a developer leaking things. This is an offline Rise of Kingdoms event, and someone took a picture, a bunch of pictures actually. And so remember that when you're digging for information, when I post something to you guys, I usually do it in accordance with Lilith because we want to preserve the health of the game and the community. We don't want to cause potential issues to the future of the game. With all that being said, let's get on with what we're seeing. I don't know what this is. All that Lilith told me is that this information was part of a sneak peek and I can post it, and that's about that. So we're going to kind of have to speculate by looking at these images. And trust me when I tell you, I'm going to show you a few images that are really going to make you go, ooh, that's kind of crazy. So off the bat, it seems like this event is kind of like a expedition type of event. But as we will keep going through the images available, there is a level 2 tower somewhere in here which you can attack. There are marches on the open field, including like weird commanders. I don't know what these commanders are, but there's like a barbarian up there. What's supposed to be like 2 types of troops. I don't know what that is. So remember that this is like a demonstration. These could be images and not like working stuff. So don't take everything in the picture as like, oh my God, this is new. Look at a barbarian commander. It's not exactly like that. Those could be as simple as placeholders, just an FYI. So I'm seeing a level 2 tower that is clicked on. It has like something below it in red right down here, which I can't see. Maybe that says level 2, but it's an attackable tower. And then there's this map, which is very interesting because it looks like there is a path that you need to go to in this event from wherever you are to like where the enemy is. And then I would assume that these are those arrow towers. So essentially, while you're making your way through, these guys can kind of cause you damage or something like that. So like, I don't know. It seems like this is some sort of an expedition mode or a co-op type of event where there is an ultimate enemy. And I believe this is it right here. And there's a map with all these like towers, which I'm assuming are these. It's kind of like based on this structure right here. It kind of looks familiar with this, right? But then we have this. And I was like, what is that? And why is that on the Ark of Osiris map? What the heck is this? And now, do you see the 2, 4, 5, and 2, and 7? It kind of looks like a Clash Royale type of thing where like it costs you X mana to use these skills and then they have a cooldown and you gain mana or something, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but there's a cost per each skill and there's like a thing that you accumulate in here. And then there's this. And this what made me go, because my interpretation of what we're seeing is you have a skill managed configuration, which I don't know if it applies to your whole army, to a certain commander. What is this? And then you can pick which skills you want to have, and they're based on a certain cost. And you can pretty much set up this to have whichever skills you choose, essentially. And I'm trying to figure out how this all works out, right? Like, is this one event? Are these two separate events? Maybe like this is an event for, maybe this is one event right here, and this is something that has to do with something new in Ark of Osiris. Because look at the map. That's the gates of hell in theory for the map of Rise of King of Ark of Osiris. But it doesn't look like the map, right? Like there's water here, and there's a passage here which looks like the Ark passage, but it's not. What on earth are we looking at, people? I am very, very, very intrigued by two images. I'm intrigued by this image right here, and I'm intrigued by this image right here. Now, again, this was sent to me by someone who saw it in someone else's video, who saw it posted somewhere else. I went back to look at the video. That was the first video that's originated from, but then someone else told me that they got it from somewhere else. I don't know if you guys have seen this by now. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm breaking this to you guys, but what is this? Is this like a competitive Rise of Kingdoms mode? Is this like good skill, kind of like a healing skill right here? This is that image of the tree that what's her face, Constance has. This is a I believe this is a Lohar skill. I believe this is a Tamo skill. We know these skills, right? That's a troop load skill. So these could all be placeholders, right? The images could all be placeholders, okay? Remember that. But what is the skill manager for? And what kind of mode is this? And are these two events or one? So let's go a little bit into my analysis of what I'm seeing. I would assume that in this conference, they gave sneak peeks of more than one thing. So I am assuming that this image, and this image are one thing, and this image and that image is a completely different thing. And so with that in mind, let's take a peek really quickly at these images first, try to figure out what's going on here. I assume that this is some sort of like a multiplayer expedition mode, kind of like potentially like Cerulli Crisis, where you would spawn somewhere in here and you have to get through the map, get rid of these towers to get to the big boss, and then you have the ability to like, maybe it's even like a team versus team type of thing where there's two towers here and one there, but somewhere along the way, this is just a representation. There will be 2 and 2, and then like the reason it's yellow and white, it's because it's two different teams trying to get here. I don't know. This looks like a new expedition mode type of thing, which looks super, super cool. I'm definitely assuming that these towers right here are this level 2 arrow tower, which you're supposedly supposed to attack. Maybe this is not even a new mode. Maybe this is what they're changing. You know how they have these caves on the map that have nothing in them? maybe now they're adding something new on the map, that those coves that you see that usually only spawn barbarian forts will now have like new things in them, new things on the map consistently, which would include these towers on the regular map rather than a extra mode, and this as like the big boss that sits like inside the cove. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's these coves all over the map. If you haven't seen them, go to your map, zoom out, and you'll see structures like this. Usually they spawn only barbarian forts in them, but I feel like maybe this is not a mode. Maybe this is something new they're adding into the map to kind of like maybe once an hour, once every 6 hours or something like that, these bosses spawn up, and as a team you can go in, try to defeat them and get good rewards out of them. Something more to do on the day-to-day, something that we've been asking for so long, something new to do more and more every day. So maybe this is not a mode, maybe this is just a thing on the map. That is my speculation. I feel like that's what they're doing with those coves. They are finally making use of them. They'll add these things in, and the big boss will show up every few hours, or kind of like the barbarian forts. They'll spawn during certain hours, and then you'll be able to get to them, and they would be like hard to kill and get some good rewards out of them. Maybe more arrowheads, maybe the books of covenant that we wanted so much more of them, maybe more speed ups or gems. I don't know, but I feel like that's what this is. With regards to this, if you ask me, is one of two things. It's either a addition to Ark of Osiris, where they are improving Ark of Osiris by essentially making it so each team has the leadership of the team can set up skills that will apply to the whole team, and then you have your points that you gain every few minutes or something like that, every whatever it is, it adds up more, and as a team you can trigger all these different skills to make Ark of Osiris even more interesting. It could be that these skills are meant for essentially while you're doing your Ark of Osiris, your whole team can either heal faster, walk faster, cause extra damage, all of a sudden do AoE or something like that. I feel like because we're seeing a skill manager in here, I think that this is gonna be, and it's like, it looks like Ark of Osiris. I feel like this is gonna be like a new addition to Ark of Osiris to add another layer to the beauty that is the Ark of Osiris way of trying to make things a bit more competitive, right? So to an extent, you'll be able to, for example, if you pick up the Ark of Osiris and you are slow, you know people are coming towards you, but you're the weaker team finally picking up the Ark, you trigger the extra march speed, and that's how you get your Ark out, or something like that. That is option number one. I feel like it's an extension to Ark of Osiris. Option number two would be a completely new event, in which you would essentially set up your skills, and kind of like in Clash of Clans, you would not Clash of Clans, in Clash Royale, you'd use up these skills as time goes by to essentially get your troops to either survive longer, fight longer, and things like that. You'd have like a certain set of troops that are going at it, and as part of the game mode, you're supposed to trigger skills in a correct manner to essentially outlast your opposition, to beat your opposition, heal your troops, make them move faster so you can make better movements on the map, make them immune for a few seconds, make them cause extra damage, so forth and so on. Honestly, I don't know either one of those options is even true or not. Again, all that Lilith Gaming told me is that you can make a video and that this came out of a conference, a sneak peek out of a conference. It is not a developer going rogue or something like that. I'd really like to know your thoughts. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. I think we're looking at two different events, one of them being a map thing that will continually happen, and if I were to pick one of the two things that I speculated about this, I really hope it's an extra layer for Ark of Osiris to make Ark of Osiris even more competitive and interesting by having the ability to set up multiple types of skills, and each team, on top of having the same types of commanders, the same types of troops, etc., also have setups of skills, and then you have an extra layer of strategies and execution throughout Ark of Osiris by utilizing these skills. That's what I would hope this is, and I am very confident in my assessment in here that this is the cove on the map right here, and that we're going to be seeing this as a regular thing. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you slap a like on the video. I really would appreciate that. It helps out the channel. It helps out the video to go up there so more people can see it and add their thoughts into this. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for being awesome and watching the video. If you haven't yet, make sure you go down in the description down below and join our Discord. Yeah, you definitely want to be part of this Discord because we're going to be popping some things in there very soon with KVK coming up and all that. Questions, anything, get in touch with me. That's the place to do it. Thank you all for being awesome, and I'll see you sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care. Peace.